Good morning, class.
Good morning, Doc.
Please, how are you doing?
By the grace, we are fine and you.
By God's grace, I'm doing well. Sorry for the delay. I really apologize for it. 26 minutes late. Ouch. I'm so sorry, okay?
No
I
worries.
will attend to something immediately. Okay, but we wouldn't waste much time. We started Microsoft Excel last week. The introduction to Microsoft Excel. In fact, what you are doing is just the basis. So please try as much as possible to relate it to the outside world. I just believe and hope that some of you will take up the challenge and then go further into details, the use of Excel, especially if you want to maybe branch into finance or accounting or anything, you will definitely need Excel. But as a good manager too, if you have an in-depth knowledge in Excel, I believe you'll be able to manage even the finances aspect of your business as well. Without much ado, let's revise quickly on what we studied last week, because today we are going to learn the practical aspects using formulas. So last night I sent a class exercise on the page. So we'll be doing that today. Then for the first 2 hours, we'll be doing that. But unfortunately, I've already used 30 minutes. So we have to try and finish in 1.5 hours time so that we can start the PowerPoint today after 9. We can start with the PowerPoint. We need to complete the Excel and begin with the PowerPoint. I believe next week is our last teaching week, right? Or do we
Yes,
have two more weeks? We are in the fourth week or fifth
yes.
week. Okay. Okay. All right. So quickly, what do you know about Excel? You can tell me anything you know about Excel, what it's being used for. You can tell me how we enter text into the Excel, the spreadsheet. It's called the spreadsheet application. Okay. So anything at all that you remember in last week's lecture or something that you have learned already, please bring it on board in the next 5 minutes so that we can go through quickly and start with the practical aspects of it. Anyone to try?
Yeah, madam, to the best of my knowledge, what I know about Excel is it helps us, especially during calculations. It's best to use Excel.
Any example? Have you used in some of your calculations before?
Yes, please, but it's been long.
So what do you remember? What area or aspect of it did you use in your calculation?
Yeah, we generated formulas for we're doing. I've forgotten what we're doing though, but we had to generate formulas through using Excel, and it made the calculation very easy. The moment you insert your figures into the formulas,
Formula.
yeah, it
Mhm.
calculates for you, and it was very easy working with it.
Okay, so I would further ask, in generating that formula and then putting the figures in, comparing it to using your pen and paper to calculate the formula and then, putting all the figures in manually. How is the comparison like? What will you say?
Doc, to be with a comparison using the Excel in calculation, the Excel is much more easier and faster.
Okay, so that can be an advantage, right?
Yeah.
All right, anybody else to tell us something about the spreadsheet application? Excel, Microsoft Excel. Last week, we were able to launch into our Excel page. I believe by now we all can open the spreadsheet, right? It is simple, just like opening Word. If you want to use the start button and go to all programs, you'll find the list of programs there. which is mostly arranged in alphabetical order to get the E column. Excel is there. You can just use the set button to just type. When you start EX, the word will come. Others, you have to type fully, then you just click on it and it launches for you. You can as well strike your Windows key on the keyboard, and then you get it. When you get the blank sheet, we discuss the elements of the Excel screen in detail. Can we mention some and then tell us what it does? At least let's mention 3 of them and tell us what it does so that we move on.
Madam, please, 3 of what?
3 of the elements of the Excel screen.
Okay.
I want to talk about the number, please. The online lecture. Please, Poma, you said how many are we in total?
17.
17. Okay, but we are only like 10. Just 10. So where are the rest? There's 7 extra. Please encourage them to join the online lecture. Your course, do we meet face to face? No. Or
No.
it's strictly online, yes. So you would write exams as well. So please try so hard. I believe those who are unable to join the online lecture goes back to listen to the audio, the recordings, as well as picking their manual together with the slides that I share all the time, so that you don't draw us back. Okay. So quickly, let's mention the elements and then move on.
Madam, please, I'll talk about the name box, the active box, and the formula bar.
Okay.
So in Excel, the cell, which is the cell has a horizontal, which is the alphabet, and the vertical line, which is the numbers. So the alphabet plus the number indicate the cell or the name of the cell, which is the active cell. So when we have, let's say, if you click on the active cell, which is A, and at the horizontal and 1 at the vertical line, then the name of the cell or the active cell is called A1. So in the formula bar, that is where we also type our formula, because cells, Excel deals with formulas. So when you do where you are, let's say you've typed, you are doing assessment and you've typed, let's say, class score at A1, and also the exams at B1. So the C1 as aspect at the horizontal side will be the total. So that's where you are going to type the formula to sum up the A1 and the B1. That's the little I know about Excel.
Okay, do we all understand? Anyone else to try? So we discussed them in detail. The status bar, what is it used for? The zoom control and all that. Okay. Then we discussed the mouse shapes as well. Do you remember? Okay, so we did the practical session, right? The short practical turn, like trying to manipulate or navigate using on the sheet itself. And then we discuss each of the options and their interpretation and what to do. Today we are moving on to the formulas, entering formulas into Excel worksheets. This is where we got to. So, sorry. We tried to merge cell and enter and did all of those things. That is for your own time to rehearse. Now let's look at some of these formulas and how the representation of it, or better still, the operator, what is being used to operate, or which keys are used. So the first one we talk about is the parenthesis, and we know how it looks like. It is shown on your screen. I don't know why this is not the Chromebook. I can't find the it's here. Good. This is what I'm talking about. So I can zoom in. The slideshow. Oh. So entering formulas into the Excel worksheet. The parenthesis, we know how it looks like, that is what is shown there. And then we can find that on which key. The key, if you are using the QWERTY keyboard, we have the numeric keys on top of the alphabetic keys. So 9 and 0. Those are the parentheses. But remember, whenever you want the parentheses of the 9 and 0, you combine it with the shift key. That is how we get that operator. Percentage is on what? For this one, I think you have laptop. So when I ask you, you should tell me the keys involved, okay? So the percentage is on which key? Percentage, the numeric key 5. So it is what? Shift plus the 5 key. Exponential, is it what? Exponentiation. That is exponent.
Number 6.
Good. So you just say shift plus shift and 6. Then we have multiplication. I want you to mention them so that I know you'll be familiar with it, because right after these formulas, you are going to solve the exercise and
That
then
one
see how we manipulate it.
It's on the 8th number.
Yes, 8. So shift and 8, right? The numbers are typed alone, but anything on top of the numbers are applied with the shift key. That is when we get these operations. The addition is on which key? Addition. The equal sign. Okay. So
Yes.
shift and the equal sign key. So in other words, the numeric keys, the ones on top of the alphabetic keys, those on top are applied with the shift key. Those beneath it, like 1, 2, 3, 4, are typed just like that without any, they are not modifier keys. So you just type them all like that. I'm saying this because when we start entering figures, don't go and press, if you want to click 2 plus, maybe 2 plus 2. Don't go and use shift and 2. And then you think you have done the 2, but you'd rather get the at sign. I believe this one is simple. Subtraction is also right after the 0. You have the subtraction sign before the equal sign. Then we say there's something called concatenation. And concatenation. Putting strings together like Jen and Ifa. So if you want to use the and sign, maybe usually maybe you are typing Excel, but on top of the Excel spreadsheet, you want to use the company's name. So Nats and Sons Company, you get it. That and symbol that you'd want to use, that is what is referred here. Then we have the equal to sign. That is also what, that one is typed alone. Remember, this equal to is typed alone, but the plus sign combines the shift key. Then greater than and less than, they are on top of what, the alt and the control keys. Use your eyes to navigate through the keyboards. Master the positions, in fact, where the numbers are, the alphabetics are, and all that. We learned typing last semester, so You should be able to know them. Less than is also there on top of Alt key, and greater than is on top of the Control key. All right. These are basically the things that we will need in operating the Excel using the formulas or the worksheet. So to enter a formula, what do? Usually the Excel has its own language. It always starts with an equal sign. Okay, so before you start with an equal sign, ensure that the cursor is placed in the cell where you want the formula to appear. Sometimes when you are working with Excel, I don't know if your machine is like mine, whether it's not freezing, but you would realize that the cursor will be at a place randomly, especially when you have paused for a while. So when you pause for a while, it might leave the place you want to enter and just randomly, or maybe mine is screen touch. So the little is so sensitive. It's so sensitive that you can, if you are not careful with it, you think you'll be typing at the right place and it will be somewhere. So the issue is when you are starting the Excel and you want to start with the application of the formulas, ensure that the cursor is placed at the place or the point where the formula will be. For example, you have worked on column A, B, C, and then you want to apply the formula on column D. So maybe D1, that is where you are starting. That is where you have to start entering the formula. And you always begin with an equal sign. The equal sign is an expression of the word if, as assuming you are saying if this or that, or even without the if. If is another formula although, but it begins with an equal sign all the time. So any expression that you want to produce, for example, if you want to sum up some values, A2 plus C2, A2 plus B2, and whichever, you need to start with an equal sign. Then you put the cursor on the portion where you want to sum up, because it takes those name boxes. Do you get it? So A2 plus C2. If you don't put the cursor there and apply them, you can type in directly A2 plus C2. Both of them is accepted. But if you start writing the formula, for example, at the A2 bar, you have some list of numbers from the A column. So let's say A column, you have 5, 7, 8, 15, 20, down to, let's say, 10 lines. Then you have C column, 2, 6, 4, 3, 5, up to the 10th one. So let's say you have A2 to A10, and then you have C2 to C10. And you want to sum them. When you go to A2, assuming the figure at A2 is 4, and then C2 is also 4, the sum is 8. But if you go and type at the operations where you want to perform the sum, and then you write A2, you write equal to 4 plus 4, it will give you 8, all right. But assuming you want the effect to apply to all of them, and you use the dragging from at it, because at the end of the day, you always drag to take effect. You realize that whether B2 is 6 and C2 is 8, it will still give you the sum of 6 and 8 to be 8. Why? Because you did not use the formula, which is A2 plus C2. You only typed the content of that formula. Do you get me? So what am I saying? What I'm saying is, it is best to put the cursor as soon as you type the equal sign at where you want the formula to appear. Go to each of them so that it will pick it directly. When put your cursor at A2 and then activate it. When you put your cursor there, it automatically registers. And then you use the plus sign board using the shift and the equal sign. Then you go to C2 and then you activate that one too. Then automatically it comes out as A2 plus C2. If the content is 4 and 4, 8. So when you drag it down, you realize that each of the values may change depending on what the ranges of the figures there. So A2 plus C2 is 8. You can have A3 plus C3 being 15 because A3 might be 5 and C2 might be 10. So you get the correct figure, 15. The next one, they will change because of the figures there. And that is giving you a perfect what? Summation of what? All the columns in A and all the columns in C. All the cells in A and all the cells in C. Because you are what? Summing the cells in A as well as the cells in C. Whatever I've said, we are going to try our hands on them. This is the practice session we want to do. I will do it and then what? I'll demonstrate it to you so that you would also follow suit. And then if you have questions, you come out with it. Before we go on main task. But before that, if you have questions, please let me hear from you before we start with the practical aspects. I believe you can all hear me.
Yes.
Yes, Doc.
Okay. Really, you are going on and off. Any problem? Are you all conversant with what we just studied?
Hello, madam. My network is giving me problem. I've tried a Vodafone, it didn't work, so I'm now using MTN.
Okay. MTN is much more better. Any question? So Williams, I don't know, you are familiar with Excel, right? All that we did was what? Applying formulas in Excel. And then we want to start with the basis. I want to start with what? Sum. That is the summation of it. Do you get it? So I first said, whenever you are entering a formula into the Excel or into the spreadsheet, you begin with what? An equal sign. Then you enter your formula. Assuming you want to enter a formula that sums up the numbers at column A and column B. So you begin with what? A1 plus B1, right? And I'm saying that when you use the equal sign, you can go and activate the A1. It automatically registers it. And then you get the plus sign by what? Clicking on the shift simultaneously with the equal sign. Then you go and click on B1. Then you press enter. As soon as you press enter, you get the summation because you have entered the formula. When you do that and you drag it down, the remaining cells at cell A and then the A column and the B column would automatically, the formula applies to all of them because you dragged it. And that is one way of doing it. You can equally go by clicking equal to and then type in directly A1 plus B1. Do you get it? And that will take it. However, don't make a mistake and go and use equal to and type the figures at A1 or B1. Even though if you type the figures at A1 or B1, it will give you the same answer. But when you drag it, that formula will not apply to the rest. Why? Because you have not clicked any formula. All that you clicked was equal to maybe A1 is 4 and B1 is 4. So equal to 4 plus 4, 8. That is the formula. So when you drag it, you realize that all the cells in A1 and B1, though you are looking for the summation of it, and probably the figures have changed. They are no longer 4 plus 4. But you realize that since you click equal to 4 plus 4, it will give you 8 for all of them. So we don't do that. The cell registers what? Formulas. So it's look at the content in each of the cells in the name box. That is where you would see it. So you realize that the name box, if when you click 2 plus 2, the name box will also say equal to 2 plus 2. However, when you click on equal to, you activate the A1 cell plus B1, it will register that equal to A1 plus B1. So when you press enter and then it gives you the correct answer and you drag it so that it takes effect of all of the rest of the remaining cells you want to sum up, it gives you the correct figures. So assuming B5 is 6, and then A5 is 6, and then B5 is what? Let's say 8. What is 6 plus 8? It's 14. So you realize that the C5, which is giving you the sum of A5 and B5, is giving you 14. 14, and then A1 is what? 4. B1 is 4. So C1 is what? 8. So you realize that it's giving you the accurate figures because you are summing each of the columns. And that is why we have gotten to. So I believe by now,
Okay.
do you get it? So what we are doing is
Yes,
the practice session that I've shown on the slide. I hope you can all do it, but I'll do it with you to demonstrate all that I've said. Then this is just a simple practice session. We move on to the main task of the day, which involves other operations like addition, subtraction, division, multiplication, and all those things. So let's just begin with the addition. That is the basis, which is the summation, okay? So with the practice session, I'm saying that you should compute the following assessment scores for primary 1 students. At the end of this lecture, please don't go and rely on your ICT master to enter student scores and grades for you. Hello? At the end of the Excel sheets, please, when you go back to your schools, this time around, prove to the ICT masters that what you have upgraded. You can enter the scores by yourself and give them the grades without any hassle. Okay, no hassle and bustles here when you are competent with the use of Excel. Okay, so what are we doing? This is the first practice session. Name, exercise, homework, total. These are names of what? Students. And the exercises they had what? 16 out of 20. Solomon had 18 out of 20 in his assignment, sorry. I know some of you are very fast. What? 16 plus 8, you can quickly put the answer there. But assuming you have about 100 students, are you going to take them one by one and calculate it? So just apply one formula, drag it throughout the 100 columns. Assume you have 100 students. Like this one is very, very efficient dealing with students like you. I mean, the regular student, when they are more. Management, I remember at a time we were over 200 students. Are you going to type their scores individually? So what do? The Excel was a smartest way of working with these operations. Using these operations, you can easily get their scores, put their grades, and in less than a few minutes, the students' grades are available. I know some of you will be complaining, Madam, some of our courses we have still not received our grades. What are you saying? The lecturers who are involved, are they not able to use them? No. Apart from them putting in your grades, some of them, the fault might come from where? The moderators who would have to assess and ensure that all the students and their grades are complete. There are no lapses anywhere before they finally vet on their scores and then they release the scores. So it's not that they've not marked. They have marked them long time. And I can bet you on that. Their lectures are very efficient when it comes to it. Entrance scores, they are able to do it. But it's up to the vetting committee to vet that these scores are the right scores and there are no lapses anywhere, no maybe somebody might get an A and then by mistake he has been given a D. It's unfair. So they have to ensure that the student deserves the marks they actually attained. That process takes some time because the committee will sit on it and all of those things. So don't worry when your grades are delayed. I mean, you are in a hurry to know your grades and then you have not received it. That is another thing. But what we are dealing with, the work on ground itself, using Excel to get what student grades, student scores. Excel is very smart to use. Okay. So can we start now? I think I have to open a spreadsheet application. Hey, do I have this? Okay, let's see. Let me go and copy so that I'll just copy it. Oh, oh. I should have. This was, I think it was a picture. I thought it was something I had typed. Oh, I wanted to just do copy and paste, but on the slide, I think it was a picture. I don't want to waste time typing this whole thing. That's all the same. Let me see. Okay. Okay. I think this will be better. Okay, let me increase the font size and then let me add 20. Okay. Okay, I think I have had it. I will have to add additional cell here.
Madam, please, your screen is not showing, no.
Yeah, I'm coming. I'll share it soon. Why is this not A1? My type is also unsure. And I'm a copy, baby. I'm coming. Let me show this. The names have, you can see that A1 has the names there, but it's not showing here. What is happening? And this is what total. Is it because I did copy and paste? Yeah, some more. How will I even do this thing? Let me see if I do the operation, it will come. You see, when I put equal sign there, it has even given me what? Sum B2 plus C2. Knowing that probably usually when you start with the basis, it gives you a first a first hand that you want to sum. So when I press enter 34, then I will drag it. Oh, I meant to me and drag it and call down. Let me add this one. Have you seen that the numbers changed?
Yes, Doc.
Yes, this is what I just said. We are just beginning with what? The sum. The sum is what? Addition of whichever values you want to add. So you realize that here is giving words. Go to the name box. This is the name box. And that is where you see the F function. F is equals to what? The summation of what? B2 plus C2. So here is what? Total. Have you seen the total? The name box is giving you 40. I don't know why it is not showing in the cells itself, but it's showing in the name box. Maybe because I did copy and paste from the slides. And the slide itself, I don't know whether it was just a picture. I think it's a picture, that is why. But I don't know why it's hidden, because it should show here, even though it has showed in the name box. Have you seen it? The name box is showing that here is what? Names. Here is what? Exercises, 20 marks. Here is what? Homework. And then this is the total, which is 40. So when we summed each of them, you realize I only summed the first one and then I dragged it. Have you seen? I only summed the first one, then I dragged it down. Then it took what? Effect in all of the totals of the names of students. So just one formula, you can just take the first function. If it applies to the remaining, only 1,000 crowd, when you drag it down, it will what? Automatically change. It will give you the effect. That is the summation. Please, if you've been able to do it at your end, give me a thumbs up. If you understand it and you have not done it, also give me a thumbs up. If you don't understand, and for that matter, you were unable to do it, give me a thumbs down. Good, Catherine, Amina, Nanose, Utman, Abbas, oh, Benjamin. Benjamin needs some assistance. Benjamin, have you been following or you just joined?
Please, madam, I've been following, madam.
So why did you face the challenge? Is it the summation?
Yes, please, madam.
What exactly is the problem? How did you go by it?
Please, madam, I didn't do the practical. I'm here to do the practical.
Okay, so once again, I'm going over. Whenever you want to apply a formula in an Excel, you begin with an equal sign. Did you begin with the equal sign?
Madam, please, I'm now getting my laptop to do it. That's why I said I was not doing the practical with you. But
hey, you don't have a laptop at this time. Please and please again, this document processing. Hello. It's
hi,
just like
madam.
computer application in business. It's just a name of change of name. It's the same thing. Computer application in business or document processing. It's just a change of name. So you should all try and get a laptop. Anyways, you have used a laptop before, but you don't have one currently.
Please, madam, I have to. I'm not coming to do what you are doing the practical aspect, madam.
Okay. What I'm asking is, you have probably used a laptop before.
Yes,
I'm
please.
not saying currently. I know currently you don't have it, but I'm saying you have used it before.
Yes, please.
Good. If you have not used it before and you have not even used computer in your life before, when I say this key, that key, you can't even imagine it. For example, you are in your room right now, but when I say take your mind to your classroom where you work. I have positioned some money in your drawer. Automatically, you remember where your desk is. If you're having a desk or like a drawer in your classroom, where is your personal drawer that you can even put a lock there? Automatically, you know where it is, whether it is at the left or it is at the right. You know it's in your mind. That means you have seen in your mind. So right now, what I'm going to do is that see in your mind what we are learning here. Since you don't have a laptop available right now, do you get it? And then apart from seeing in your mind, you can also look at it in what? With the screen, my screen, the slides I am showing would also try to help you see in your mind. Hello, do you understand? So in your mind, recall the alphanumeric keys on your keyboard. Because on my keyboard, I can't show it here. There's a way, but I've forgotten. Oh, yes, there's a way. I used to have it to show my screen and my keyboards here. Oh, if at the moment, yeah, but I can have it here anyway. But I'll not show that. What I'll show is what? The work itself. Now, the work I have sent here, the first column, A1, is actually the names of students. The B column, B1, is actually what? Their first score, which is class exercise. The C column is what? Their homework or their assignments. And then the D core is what? Their total. That is the total of the scores. So whenever you see total, the first formula that comes to mind is sum. Sum is what? Summation. And right from basic school, we know that sum is what? The summation of two numbers or more than two figures. So the sum is what the Excel knows to be what? Addition. So if you start, you can't. I gave one way by typing in A1 plus B1, but my Excel, because I've been using it often, as soon as I typed these things and I went to the D column, when I pressed the equal sign, automatically it gave me what? Sum, A1 plus B1, because it is hoping that I would use it. Probably because I've been using it for a long time. I don't know if somebody else also had the same thing. Were you having sum A1 plus B1 automatically as soon as you use the equal sign, or you had to go and type in A1 plus B1, or you had to activate the cursor A1 and then you go and type the plus and then you activate the letter B1 and then you press the enter key? Which of the series or different approaches did you use? Which approach did you use to the class?
Madam, please, I started with the B1.
Okay.
And so I typed B1 plus C1. And then
I mean, yes, I actually mean B1 plus C1. Sorry, the A columns are for the names. Sorry.
names, yes.
Mhm.
Then in D1, I typed
So you
the
actually type what? Equal to, please.
yes,
When you are
equal
talking,
to
I don't want you to miss the equal sign because people will
okay,
forget.
okay. So I did it equal to B1 plus C1. And
Good.
then I entered and had the 34 for the first one.
Then you dragged it.
So the dragging is what I missed. I also couldn't get it. So I have to go
You
through the
couldn't
same
drag it.
process. Yes, please.
Oh, did you type A1 plus B1 yourself?
Yes,
Equal
please.
to A1 plus B1. So when
Yes,
it's
please.
on 34, you enter and you press the enter key and the 34 came, right?
Yes, please.
So highlight the 34. That is what activates the column D1,
Okay.
D2. Yeah.
Okay.
Activate the column D2. When it's activated, you see the blue lines on it. Then you
Okay.
put your cursor at the tip right corner.
Okay.
You get it? Unse tip
Is it
corner.
down or up? Right, Kana?
34. When you activate it, unse the tip of it, this side, let me see. I'm showing that green thing. Have you seen it? This is my cursor.
Yeah.
My cursor is showing green. It's a small dots.
Okay.
Unsa green thing. This side,
Yes, please.
that is where you press it and then you drag it. If
Okay.
you are using a laptop, if you are
Mm.
using a laptop, you have to click once and drag. I'm also using a laptop.
Okay.
If you are using a mouse, you left click it or it's just clicking a normal click and drag. So when
Okay.
you click and drag it, it will take effect.
Okay.
Try it
I'll
and
try it.
see.
Actually, I did the typing for the rest when I couldn't get the dragging, so
Hey,
I'll
if you
delete.
go by this way, if you go by this method, hello, it is also true. Ubetumi and bako now won't waste your time because to
Yeah.
this one is just for this one is
Mm.
just for you are going to meet students future, maybe you become a lecturer. You meet there are some courses the courses like critical thinking, almost critical thinking and com skills is for all students. So where you agree, where you science, so where you French, everybody's doing critical thinking. And then, of course, you can't handle all the 1,000 students. So maybe you'll be giving 3 programs for you alone. The 3 programs, assuming each of the program, no cry, they are not less than 100. So let's say 100. The 3 is what 300. You have to enter their scores individually. Say their management for 100. 100 will be typing back. The ben obey no work or arts education for. No work or business education for. You get it? So I wouldn't encourage that. I would let you try the dragging aspect to make it simple. If the function applies to all of them, then the dragging is the best thing. Do you get it? If it is applying, but if it is not applying, please don't go and drag it when actually the last part is not applicable. It's saying
Madam, please,
something.
I've got it.
You've had it. You've been able to
Yes.
drag it. Saba.
Yes.
200 students you can drag to the 100 line. And another thing about this dragon thing is, in fact, if you are using laptop Keza to say your laptop where will drag sometimes say reach 100, but I don't feel fear now. Don't be worried. Go to the last one. For example, I'm going to show you. In fact, when I was in, remember that Edu Rebecca then meant me and Chianco. I went back towards. Let me undo and then do again. When I undo, so I realized that Rebecca then matron and to me and Chianco. So I will still go back to the last person and drag it down. But a brochure and kind of be 00. Why? Because there are no words. For example, this is what? Nothing is here, nothing is here. So it be 00. So what I'm saying is, if you drag it and it does not reach your target, don't worry about it. Just go back and put your cursor, activate your cursor at the last person, and then continue dragging it downwards. If it is indeed the same formula that you are applying. Do we get it? Have we all had it? Benji.
Madam, please. You see, me, my problem is how to add the cell B and C to get the D. Where to put the formula. That is my problem, madam.
Oh, so who would assist him?
Madam, please. So Benjamin, when
Mhm.
you type the figures, let's say Solomon. So Solomon, you type the name in A, then the figures B and C. So when you activate the cell D, then you type equal to B1 plus C1. Then you enter. Then it will automatically come. Madam, I
Oh,
guess I'm right.
Yes, you are right. You are right. So it's actually 2B2 plus C2. Because the first column, one, the one aspect had the names, a class exercise, homework, and the total. We cry a basis so in Timpacho Monty ourselves from here because the next exercise no multiplication and division now. And it's the same thing. That is why I started with you what being familiar with the formulas and what it means. When I showed one formula, the stroke sign actually meant the division sign. I don't know whether I showed that too. Okay. So, hello, Benji. Are you still struggling? Who else is finding it challenging? At this venture, if you are still not okay, please let me know before I move on. You can equally send a thumbs down to show that you are still not getting it. Hey, Benjamin, want to ask also did mute yourself so that if you want to talk. If not, mute yourself. Are you okay?
Madam, please, I think after class I'll see someone to help me. I'll get someone to help me. Thank
Okay. It's better to get when your laptop away anything. You make it the cocoa cram to the class. Catherine, you are getting it right. Yes, you should. The graphs, I've not heard from you today.
Yes, please.
Felicia, are you there?
Yes, please, I'm here.
Have you had it? Edward Che. Edward?
Doc, I'm on point.
Good. So let's move on.
Okay.
Hey, no, we no class exercise, no way. Okay, let me look at the slide first. So this was the slide, and this is what we have done. All right. Oh, sorry. So let's get the meaning of the formula errors so that Yeka said put a formula there. Now we no one year. No one who sign your mail because say, hey, you have to go back and do the right thing. The first error is when you have the hash symbol, hash twice over 5. It means that the content of the cell cannot be displayed correctly as the cell column is too narrow. And the content of the cell, no, assuming you have large figures, and then the column is too narrow that it can only show 2 items. Two numbers per. So a number now there are 2 and there millions of, or I said thousands. The column is too small, so it is not showing the entire figure. You see this hash symbol. You can also see reference or REF. It indicates that a cell reference is invalid. Usually, it is displayed when you delete cells which involve the formula. So you've deleted a particular cell, but it involved a formula. And that particular cell you deleted In fact, the formula applied towards some columns. So you have already deleted that cell. The remaining columns, you are expecting that the remaining columns should apply the formula that you have already deleted. Do you get that? Did you get it? It doesn't make sense. A column, maybe A, you have put something there. B, you have put something there. C column is probably where you have what? Put a formula. So let's say the summation column, you add another one. And now you're going to take the average of what? The summation. And the E column, which we are going to include the average of the students. Average means what? The total divided by 2. So how do you get total divided by 2? When you have already deleted the total column. And see, all that is saying, let me show this sign. Then you see it. You see the reference formula showing. And then the name too is saying that it doesn't recognize the text contained within a formula. You would find some of these errors whenever you make a mistake in working with the Excel or the spreadsheet. So let me quickly demonstrate what I just said to you. And for example, I have say, hope I will type it. Hey, I have to share it rather. Hope I will type what? Average. Average means what? Who will give me the sign, the formula? Equal to, right? Equal to, hey, who say make a average wahanwa amame B2 what? Divided by D2. If you don't have the B2 divided by D2, here I'll just press enter and I will go. As for my Chromebook there, my main type then it will put whatever I have in mind there. Because I had put average here. Here too, when I put total there, it actually meant total of the sentence. That is why it gave me some. Yet when I put average there, it gave me this. So I can just press enter, or I can start by saying what? This divided by this total. Okay, let me say this. D2 divided uses what? The stroke, the sign. Then I'll put 2 there. So you can also go by this. This divided by is it no, average is not this divided by 2. Total. This divided by 2. So you get 17, or let me see. This is giving me 22.66. Can somebody explain to me why you are getting this one? Or it was showing a different thing? Because I know average should be total divided by 2, or is total each of them divided by.
Hello, madam.
Yes.
Asking for average, we sum the total and divide by the total number. That for here we have 4 variables. So we divide the total 34 plus 32 plus 36 plus 34 divided by 4 to get the average.
34 plus what?
The total for Solomon, total for Charles, total for Afia, total for Rebecca. We sum them up. Then we divide by the number,
which is 40.
Which is 4. Hello.
So that means that here too, we have to get total here. Is that not what you are saying?
Yes,
to C6. Come again.
We have found the average score, and I'm saying that then we have to add the scores of Solomon, Charles, Afia, and Rebecca. Then we divide by 4 to get the average for each of them, to get the average.
Okay. Okay, then I think I have to put total here so that it will make it simple. So here I can put equal to. Then you see that the sum it has. You see, when I put equal to as each of them, there will be a what? Short dashes, which is like a box at the place that the function is going to be operated on. Do you get it? So when I put equal sign here, the sum, it is giving me, you see the short dashes had covered the entire here, the orange column. The orange short dashes are taking this whole thing. So I think we can have the summation of this. Is that not what you are saying? And as well as this.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes, you can also have equal sign. Then so equal sign. A. This. So somebody will be wondering, how am I able to take the entire C2 colon C5? You can type in C2 colon C5 yourself. Or for me, I don't type, I just drag it. So I use the shift. I put my hand, my cursor on the first one. For example, I put my cursor here, which is C2. Then I press the shift and the down arrow to take the number of items I'm taking. So because I put equal sign C2 plus C5, I'll get what? You see, I'm having what is called value. That means it's an error. Default output of this reference is a single cell in the same row, but a matching value could not be found. To get the values for the entire language, use the array formula function. And the error, beba, error. As for these errors, you continues with super errors. But this one didn't give us error. Okay. And then hey, maybe if you my mathematical operation control Z. But why has this gone here? And I meant to say, okay.
Hello, madam. Hello.
Because so
Hello.
you
Hello,
said
madam.
it should be this
Hello.
divided by this, isn't it?
Hello, madam.
Yes.
I did it. I did equal to. Mine I started from D2. D2 plus D3 plus D4 plus D5. Then it gave me the total, which is 136.
B2 plus what?
D2 plus D3 plus D4 plus D5. Mine I started from A2. So for the total, I got it at the D. So I did equal to D2 plus D3 plus D4 plus D5, and it gave me the total.
D. Okay. I was hearing B,
Yes,
so
D.
so you actually
So it gave me
this
total.
plus. So you mean
This
this
plus
one?
this. Yes. And it gave me
So that will
136.
give you the total. Okay.
The total.
Okay.
They will
And I'm
divide the
working.
total by the number, which is 4.
Hey, sir. Okay,
But
okay.
madam, if you are finding
Yes.
the average for Solomon, average you add
Uh-huh.
the two numbers, 16 plus 7, 18. Then you divide by 2. So it will be
16 plus
16.5.
18.
Yes, then you divide by 2. It will be 16.5. Then you run it to be 17. When finding
Uh-huh. No,
average
no,
of a student, you add the student score, then average is over 2.
no, no, meeting kind, no, but I don't know why. When I
Okay,
see,
okay.
I know that average is always total divided by 2, especially since Solomon's way be assignment plus exercise is giving us 34. So average of each student, and I can want some no. So when I press
Okay,
equal
okay,
to,
okay. Now I'm getting
but
it.
I don't know why when I come here and then I press equal to, it gives me average of B2 and D2. And it gave me B2 and D2 rather, which is 22.67, which I don't understand.
It should be
Matthias,
B2 and C2.
this one, this average ahead. So don't always listen to your Excel. Do you know why? When I press the average, it's added the total. It took 16, 18, and 34 and divided it by 3. That is why we are getting 22.67. But we are not taking the average of all the 3, including the total. We are only taking the average of Solomon. So B2 plus C2. So what I was doing initially was right. It was because it added the total and was giving me 22.67. That is why I wanted to find out how we are getting 22.67 and not 17, which I thought we should get. Do you get it? Hello, who is lost here? So
Madam, please.
actually,
What of Madam?
what
Please,
you are
what of
doing there, I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you right now. So first, let's look at the average for each of the students, and then I would continue, and then you see that what you are saying is also true, but you were looking at it in a different way. So let me cancel this and then show the average I want. The average I want is what? This plus this. We have already had it, which is 34. Okay, so the average is actually the total divided by 2. So use the division sign by 2. Then you press what? The enter key. You get 17. Then as I said, since you are taking the average of each score, put your cursor at the tip here and just drag it. Do you get it? So when you drag it, you get the average of each score. And that is what I'm saying. So why will you even take the average of the total? This should be out. So this one should have given me that function I was looking for. C2 plus C2 so okay. This one also gave me this. It will 136. When I put the total here.
Yes.
I should give it increase the font size. So that you can see exactly what I'm saying. Okay. Let me bold in the total column so that you see it well. I don't know where I get that. Okay, because I'm using so that you can see clearly. Now can you all see my screen? So what did we do? We just looked at the average of the total score. By average is what? Division, and I'm saying the division sign is what? The stroke column. So look at the name box here. What do you see here? D2/2. That means that the total of what? Remember, this was giving us what? The sum of B2 and C2. This plus this give us 34. So average of Solomon is this divided by 2, giving us 17. And here friend is say, even though their total is what 40, their average score is what 17. Where so average score is 16. Where average, so if you want to use average score for something to check their performance, you say that 17. Maybe you have put a standard that if their average is above 15, that means they did very well. A 100% exercise, no, giving what grades for each of them. So if it's above 15, are they performing excellently? If they're above 12, maybe give them very good. If they're about 8 and 9, 8 to 10 to 12, then you give them good. But if they are below 10, you give them fair. Let's say 5 to 10, you give them fair. If they are below 5, then you say fail or something, depending on the way you want to grade them. So we move on from this exercise and then go to much more detailed exercise like what I sent on the page. Any question? Okay, before we move on to that exercise, assuming we want to multiply, okay, if you want to find percentage square, you better multiply by what? I mean, what is the average score to find a percentage? You multiply something by 100. Mathematicians, please talk.
Yes, please.
What do you multiply? What do you multiply?
But are we trying to find the average percent?
Eh?
Are
They
we finding the
bill.
average?
I wanted us to do another thing that is before I move on to what we want to do today by sharing the class exercise, no. But before, no, me person may yeah formula there, it would involve what multiplication. Then you see how that one also works. And then Bisa say, usually if you want to find a percentage of something, how do you go about it? Because I know you multiply it by 100, but you are taking total something over total times 100, or I should forget that one and just bring a different question.
Oh, uh, normal. Assuming if you have to find.
Hello, madam. Hello, madam.
Yes.
It's what the person got divided by the total times 100 will give you the percentage.
What the person got divided by what? The total times 100.
The total. Yes. Yes, madam.
One question say to me a percentage of. So can we take what the person got divided by total no? Let's see if we can try and do it to get the percentage before we move to the actual exercise we want to do today. Hey, I've opened a lot of tabs, so I can't find the one I just opened. Yeah, some more. A question here. Is this what we're working on? Hey. Nti megu so a mewɔke. Na tab na mekɔ bio. What is that? Your exercise assignments. Hey. And tomorrow morning, no, month now. Where these are your scores. If I've not finished marking anyway. Hey, where is the tab I just opened? Okay, so you realize that you want to assume you want to find percentage, eh? So let's put here percentage. So equal to what? Equal to, you know, we don't want to use the average to find percentage, or we should use the average to find the percentage. You said the score they had 34 divided by total, which is 40. Meboa. Yes, sir. May I do math kakra? Yes, sir. 34 over 40 because the scores are supposed to be over 40, right? Then times 100. Yes, sir. So shift plus the 8 would give you the multiplication sign. That is the star. Times 100. No, no percentage. So now saying 85%. Okay, for pen and paper. Now calculate the percentage of each course. Go back to primary 2 when you were asked to find the percentage of the scores. So exercise 1 on your 16, homework 18, on your total 34. The 34 over 40, which is the total assessment score. The total assessment score is over 40. And so when you're 34 over 40, no, what is the percentage value of that 34? Next, you say 34 over 40 times 100. And yes, sir, equal into, and then I mean 85, no. But here, if you want to get the 85, what did I say? You start with what? An equal sign. Then I went to what? 34 divided by 40. The division sign is shift plus the question mark. Is even closer to the shift. Into on your keyboard, the shift and the question mark will give you the division sign, which is stroke. So stroke, no, the interpretation is what? Division sign. Yes, I say calculation. We discuss the signs and their meanings. So shift and the question mark is giving us the stroke sign, which is the division sign. And 34, no, you not say 34 divided by 40 times 100. We understand. Open and shut down, call back. Let me undo. Undo the control Z. Now mention equal to, equal to natural 34 divided by 40 times 100. It will still give you 85. 85%, but drag it and see. Ubenya 85 throughout. This is what I'm saying. And the first one will be try a some kind of untra. Why? Because what is here is 34 formula bar no, the name box no. Formula would they 34 divided by 4 times 100 for all of them. And see a more wrong values. First one depend a bit correct. But what I'm saying is that so person will drag it to take effect. Don't go and put the values there in the formula bar. Instead, so let me undo and then put in the correct formula. The correct formula is what? D. A. Why? Oh, Mempesa. The correct formula is equal to this. The total divided by A. Sorry. A stroke, no, you don't press shift and the stroke. Make I say top there, no. Top there now obey shift plus it. But the stroke is just the one beside the shift into. So this divided by what? 40. What I get 0.85 times minimum nebe shifts and then 8 times 100 is giving you 85. Until we press enter, ama kama. Nti wo besan de activate the percentage. The first one, put your cursor at the tip here, click on it and drag it here. So when I dragged it, it gave me what? Different percentages. That means that the one who had the highest percentage, Efia, who is Efia here? Efia had the highest. From here, you can deduce and also say that the one who probably had the lowest, even though he also performed well, is who? Charles, also getting what? 80. University, no, from 80 to 100. And to year on one, A. 80, 81, 82 to 900, you get an A. So all of these things, if you want to interpret it, that is why we are going to look at whether the person had an A, had a B plus, had a B, had a C, and all that. How are you going to put that function? And that is the last thing we'll do in Excel. Then we say bye-bye to Excel for now. If you want more details, you need to book an appointment. Go get some of these masters in Excel, and then you go to full-time Excel classes. Okay, so that is that. Any question to this end? If you don't understand, you have to understand before we move on to the exercise itself. Yes, sir. Asembeba Debbie. Debbie na asembeba. Any question? You have to finish by 9. I can't. About 23 minutes. We can use it to do the exercise and then we go for break. When we come back, we start our PowerPoint. So any question? If you understand, so wherever we have gotten, to give me a thumbs up so that I will know that I have to continue. Yeah, make sure in Nawati, give me thumbs up. I know, say Anita, good. Catherine, good. Che, Edward. Yeboah Williams. Okay. Felicia, Elizabeth, I'm not hearing from you. Oh, Benji. I'm impressed that you understand now. Okay. Lizzie. Okay. Horse rep, I've not heard from you. All right. Then everybody's on course. Can we begin the class exercise now? Okay. Who is going to read for us? Just go ahead and read for us. Read aloud.
Okay, madam, I'm
Hello.
reading. You are a class teacher preparing a spreadsheet to calculate the performance of 5 students in a recent test. Each student had 2 test scores, test 1 and test 2. You are assessing students on 2 tests, each score out of 30 marks. 1. Enter the data as shown below in Excel. Student name, test 1, test 2, total, average. Amma 20 for the test 1, then test 2, 25. Kojo 15 and 10. 80, 30.
Leave that part and go to the second question.
Okay.
Use
formulas to calculate the total score for each student. Test 1 plus test 2. Calculate the average score
calculate the average score into bracket total divided by 2. Use the IF function or 1F function to display the performance standard as instructed below.
Okay, hold on.
Performance standard.
Hold on, then you continue. Wait, I want to say something. In fact, the real question will not come this way. That calculate the total score for each student. Now, my science say in brackets, test 1 plus test 2. Never. We're class exercise. So I'm giving you clues. Do you get it?
Yes, sir.
So, my friend said, the question will not come with after telling you to calculate the total score for each student. Then I'll come and put in bracket, give you a clue. No, there wouldn't be clue anyway. So all these use formulas to do, no, I have deliberately put some clues there, and I have told you what you are expected to do. But the real question will not come this way. So, for example, calculate the total score for each student. That is the question. 2, calculate the average score. Simple. And maybe will say, how do you calculate average score? And the question will come and give you clue that the average score is the total divided by 2, as we did in our first exercise. You get it? Then the next question would continue. The next thing is what? Use the if function to display the performance standard as instructed below. Use the if function to display the performance standard as instructed below. And see, what is the performance standard? The performance standard is saying that each of the average score should be out of 30. And each of the average score, if somebody gets 25 above and above, that means 25 to 30. The person's performance is an excellent grade. If the person is getting below 25, but it is ranging from 20 to 24.99, as far as only at 25, no 0.99 cry, good, but yeah, there will not be any 24.99. It will probably end at 24. It's good. Then if the person is getting what below 20, let's just say 19.99, but 15 to 19, until only 15 to 19 fair. But if the person is getting below 15, and I just say we're failing, so we can say fail there. That is what your own style of what performance. So if you are able to do this, I would also let us do the usual grading system for students where we have A, B plus B, using this Intina Mama simple one. Yet me trying because akwenya excellent, akwenya good, akwenya fair or failure. Then you can use the same approach to do the actual grading system for students. For example, A, 80 and above. B plus is what? 75 and above. 75 to 79, B plus. B is from what? 70 to 74. C plus is from what? 65 to 69. C will be from what? I will say I started from 64 into 60 to 64. Now D plus acquired into winning. So if you are able to get this one, then that one you should be able to get it. So the solution, this one I gave it to you, but in actual sense, you will not be given the solution, or I'll not give you any clue. And I'll not give you any clues for as to how to use the formulas in actual test question. If you are given an Excel question like this, not a practical, sir. Yeah, more formula say. Yeah, more question say 25 to 30, 20 to 24 is excellent, fair, good, fair. How to put the formulas down, and when I chose for solution. Third one, you do this is how you type it. If this is this, then if this, now why any say this is how you type it there. Now what dragging these formulas down into exercise now because my more solution that. but probably I sent it late at night, so most of you didn't look at it. If you had looked at it, it would have been simple for you to do it today. Okay, so you are going to start with it. The first thing, I want somebody to do in fact, all of you are doing it, so everybody should do it. When you are done, take a snapshot and send it on the page. At least let me see what the total and then the average. You do performance now. Now my choice and I'll bet type it. And one of my wahano, you use the equal to, then you type if bracket E2 is greater than 25, comma. Then you typo. Then you put the performance in what? Is it called quotation marks? Yeah. We put the performance in quotation marks. So remember, even if you miss a single symbol to say colon, to say comma, and now quotation mark, and now where you are supposed to use greater or equal to nisadiano. Messing and say instead of using comma or press full stop, it will not work for you. And the formula way part the do you get it? So you first do the first two, and then let's see how we put the formulas there, and then you see how it works. And see, Obian there, made them I made there. And see, I think this was my own. And so Obian there. And the names of students say no, so okay, when I said so when you now person will trim kakra, you can put your keza here. Now I trim kakra. Now I kama. Now I 10 So that is my own. So I have, let me just copy only this, and then let me show to you test 1 and test 2. I'll not add the total, I'll copy. And then I'm going to add another sheet, and then come and do it again so that you see. So Control V. This is the question. And so more yen money, Moswa, Mobeshemeno, Monsheme, Senameyeno. If you are lost. So what do you do here? Okay, you all should pause. Okay, you all should pause, and then you tell me what I'm supposed to do. So the first question is saying that you should find the total, isn't it? I'll call anybody at all. This one, the question time. Benjamin. Total, what do you do? Okay, so I need to share what I've done. Hey, yeah. Total. I'm sharing my own, so I'm also doing it here. Benjamin. Total. If I want to get the total of Amma, her test 1 and her test 2 scores, how do I get the total using Excel? Obianye ready for semefro. Ben. Okay. Who will try? Utman. I've not heard from you today. Utman.
Yes, madam. With equal to sum, you open them.
Yeah, you say it the way like as you type or you enter. I want you to say it like the way you type it. So if you start saying it, I'm going to type it, whatever you are saying, and you see if it will work for us. So what do you do? What am I putting here?
You equal to
Okay.
sum, and then
Why your own to have this?
you open the brackets.
Okay, somebody will ask me where is the sum function. In fact, I don't know by default. Nanka I was say, mo way no ya na wa hase, but me dear no, me boy anaba. Okay, so if yours is just like mine, where it is only because I put total here, it is giving me the sum of this and this. You see that this is what you wanted to type. You can just press what? Enter. You can just press enter. Other than that, if it is not so, and then you use equal to, you can add what you want to add plus plus C2. So either this plus this or use the sum. It will give you exactly what you have. So I can still press enter because it showed there that B2 plus C2. Do you get it? So Lisbeth, what do I do? Oh no, Lisbeth, you were the one who answered. I mean four before four. I'm sure I'm more info. Felicia. Felicia, you answered this. What do I hey? I did not question here. Okay, I think so. Just exercise na question here. Okay, Madden, here with you. I'm coming. I don't know. Okay. Hello, Felicia. How do I get the remaining students with just a simple way of getting them? How do I get it using the smartest way?
Hello.
Okay,
Madam, so please, you highlight the total for the you highlight the total for the first one. That is the D. Yes, you highlight it and then you put your cursor on the. As I'm seeing it to be blue. That's blue thing there, and then you drag it. Then you can get the value for the rest. Yes.
Okay. And to me, and now, what did the question say? Or say after total, calculate what? Average, maybe one. Is that not what the question said? So who is taking us to the average? No, say. No, say, are you there?
Yes, Doc, I'm here. My Bluetooth is connected, so. Yeah. So for the average,
Catherine, one more answer. So any problem? Another 1%. Okay. Who is giving us the average? Williams. Oh, it's 9 o'clock. Oh, please hurry up and then let's finish this quickly. Really, please give us the average so that we can move on.
Hello, madam. The average is D2 divided by 2. Then you
I
enter.
said you should say it exactly how you want me to type. Do you want me to type what you just said?
D2/2.
Who else would try? Okay. You said I should type what?
Hello,
William,
I
say I
didn't
should
get the
type what?
question.
I said you should help me calculate the average. What do I type here?
D2.
Okay. Uh-huh.
D2 plus 2.
Plus 2.
Then you enter. Yes.
So what am I getting? You see, I have. So this is what? Average. And you said I should type what? D2. Huh? Okay, I'll type D2. D2
D2.
plus what?
Yes.
Plus what?
Plus 2.
D2 plus.
Slash
Average.
over divided by. Yes. Divided by 2.
That is the answer. Is I press enter and that is that. So what is missing?
Yes.
Are you watching my screen at all? Because I've
Yes.
repeated it over and over, but you are still making the same mistake. When you said I should type D2 divided by 2, I've typed it there. But nothing, no figure is coming. So what is missing? Who is going to assist
Equal
him?
to, madam, you enter equal sign before D2/2. Sorry.
That is
You
what I
enter
want to
equal
draw your
sign first.
attention. It will start in now. I say, do you really want me to type what you are saying? We'll say, yes, madam. Yes, madam. And I've typed it. Nothing is showing. No, nothing has been performed. And you still can't find anything wrong with this. Excel will do Excel work if your eyes are fixed on the keyboard. You'll be working and working and working. By the time you watch the screen, error. So please be very careful. Average D2 this divided by 2. This is what you are getting. D2 until who person we are sure with Excel. Whatever function you have performed, don't panic. Just put the cursor there and then go to the name box, this box. If the function there is correct, what you should type there, then you are certain that the answer is correct. But assuming ubenya ebia make sure that anchor say instead of, let me undo. Assuming you said D2, and D2, sorry. Assuming you did equal to D2, Number 5 D2 divided by, instead of 2, now we'll press 3. And I will be 50. Now see, hey, at the machine wa bonsa, because average make kwame say 45. When you divide it by 2, at least you should get above 20. I don't know the actual figure, but you should get above 20, because if you 40, average is 20. So 45, it should be above 20. Why am I getting 15? If you are smart, you have to quickly what? Put the cursor here and then go and check the name box. This is the name box where I'm showing you with the arrow here. And said, hey, I typed D2 divided by 3 instead of D2 divided by what? 2. And assuming say no. Check. Excel is fine. Assuming you don't go and check, and then you dragged it. Uben say all your answer no, wrong. And your friend say 10 names. And I mark it. Not 10 no. Each of them no. 1 mark. It just automatically when you're 0. Hello. So assuming 10, and each of them is 1 mark. To get the average of each score is 1 mark. And then just the function, instead of D2 divided by 2, you did D2 divided by 3. And then you did not go back, check from the name box. And then you dragged it. And then even after your work, you still didn't go back. You realize that, hello, the person should mute himself or herself. You realize that since the function is wrong, all the answers provided is wrong. Therefore, what am I saying? I'm saying that whenever you put a function there, try and go back whether it corresponds to what is in the name box. Do you get it? So if what is in the name box corresponds to it, that means that you are on course. If it doesn't tally, that means that there is an error elsewhere. So what you do now is still go back, delete this function, and put a different function there equal to D2 divided by 2. So you realize that now I'm getting the correct figure. Now when I drag it, I am getting the actual average for each of them. Do you understand? So the average for each of them had been provided. And say, baby, I'm as here now, you end the Excel class is how do you grade Excel in terms of what performance? In terms of using the if clause, the if function. We use if function to usually use it in grading, but we can use it for other things. But it performs the same thing. The grading is just a representative. So whenever we use the if function, we want something to represent something. If A is 5, that means that 5, the representation is what? A, who has gotten 5, is excellent. Is an excellent student. If B, which is maybe Ben, stand for Ben. If Ben gets 4, then Ben has done very good. If C, which is Cecilia, she gets 3, then she is good. If 2, then 2 is for maybe Dan. Then Dan, we said fairly good. And then probably if you get 1 out of 5, then we said that you have probably something. Obeka Chem said, Madam, in education, they using the word feel, especially 0. 0 is what? Is nominal. And mom, yes, statistics, no. We are saying 0 is not what? A lack of traits. When somebody gets 0, it doesn't mean the person lacks the traits. And see, I say more be 0, 0, no. I don't know whether you have been giving zeros to your students. Obi will say, I didn't work on your what question 1 to 10, waiting in no what was 0. Should we encourage that? That is something that you would answer after the class, whether we should encourage 0 or since 0 is nominal, because 0 no, one quality says 0 means our quality, but you want to tell the learners that 0 doesn't mean lack of traits. 0 doesn't imply that akwalana bon only bibi, but maybe the test and the approach in preparing the test no and went to me but any just akwalana bon. It is aqualanity testing na or say man is 0 ana. This is a question to the gods, eh? So after the class you ask. And now I don't encourage failing students. Failing students, yeah, it is not for me. If you force yourself to fail, you can call me and tell me that, madam, wait dear, but more they are not failing me. I know that you have given me the permission to fail you. But if you don't give me the permission to fail you, no matter what, you will not fail. And also in chair say, madam say you not feel, then I won't see her. Then I go back you. Do you get it? So I usually don't like using feel. But let's assume that you have questions like this. Edu performance, edu some portion, they are below certain grade points. The person has failed. And see, you find a way of what grading them. So what was the question saying? The question was saying that if the person had a score above 25, is it what question of him? The one who gets excellent grades, no, above what? So, or say use the if function to display the performance standard as instructed below. And the performance standard is a person who gets 25 and above, the score is over 30, has excellent grades. 20 to 24.9 has good. So 20 to 24 has good. 15 to 19 has fair. And below 15 has few. That is the performance grade. And see, how do we put it there? And to be started with what? Equal sign. Obian shall say, oh yeah. Amen. Okay. And the performance. Performance. Oh. And see, how will we use the if function? If what? You type it. If you always have what if pair, you need to start with what brackets. So if E2, and when I mean type you, then answer my quack of E2. So where E2. So if E2 is greater than or equal to, we don't have greater than or equal to symbol, but you can put the 2 there. So greater than undo. So if okay, since we are looking at what this, so if this is what E2, let's type E2 is greater than or equal to 25. Do you get it? If E2 is greater or equal to 25, comma, That means that the person is supposed to get excellent. In time, I say performance or the grading system is that the grade should be in quotation marks. Excellent. Into what grade need to quotation mark? Now what they come about. Make sure you don't press any space bar or press any space bar, or you mess up the symbols. You get the whole thing wrong. Then you continue. If again, if then brackets will come. Okay, over you see a capital letters. If E2 greater than or equal to 20, greater than or equal to A. That greater than or equal to, sir. Okay, so if it is greater or equal to 20, into yeah, where the car. After you have typed your if, whatever is there is what color comma. Before you type what your grade in quotation marks, they say a man is saying good, yeah. Good. After your distance to still comma, then you come again another if. If. Then you open bracket. So if, what are you saying? If E true is greater or equal to 15, saying fair. If I miss any of the symbols, it will not come. Fair, comma. And the last one, no, fill no. And on sign son kaka say ifo. If E2 greater than or equals to 25, excellent. If E2 greater than or equals to 20, good. If E2 greater than or equals to 15, fair. And below 15, fail. And no one can say if we no fail. Since the last one is fail, you put what? Just go straight ahead and say what? Fail. So after you have done your fill, no, they say Uber count, say the number of brackets that you have opened. To be say the number of brackets you have opened, no, actually for each of them is 3. Until you end with what? 3 bracket close. 3 of them. Now you for full stop and see baby, just press enter. Hey, my day, my yay. Something is missing somewhere. Who has been able to do it? Let me check again.
Maybe equal to.
I didn't bring it. You see, I need to start with what? Equal to. Once I made so teacher also assigned mistake because I was concentrating more on the function and I forgot to start with what? Every mistake is a new start. HSA. I am telling you that if you don't begin with an equal sign, then I'm far. And see, my so careful that I will not use full stop instead of comma. Let me call on do. Oh, and then oh, okay. So I have to drag it down, and then as soon as I dragged it, what is it showing? It's showing that Amma had a good performance, Kojo had failed, AC had an excellent grade, Yao his grade was fair, and Abner's own was also good. Oh, it's a function. Who born the year? Papa, not the amount. One born the year. I didn't start mine with an equal to, and I didn't get it. Now, when I started with an equal to, I had it. And see, assuming we have different grades here, your friend say, Yenya could be 75. I mentioned down for grading system be 60. Memfa obi nhyɛ ha 81. Na memfa obi nhyɛ ha 30. 30 deɛ wambɔ brɛ o. Na menhyɛ dan fa 77 bi nhyɛ ha se. Na yɛnhwɛ grading system na yɛbɛyɛ no. Yɛmfa sɛ yɛde grade ayɛ ne grade. Nti we function bɛn na ɔde bɛma me. Nti ube start from what? Function from A to D meboa. Nti ube start here. Equal to Sawakai if. Nti ube type if. Equal to if. And if your person nipa ko ninya 80 and above. 80 and above. Let's just say greater than or equal to 80 meboa. 80 greater than greater than greater than or equal to there be if rather I'll say this if where then see what okay once I may press enter and there's a wrong number argument. I shouldn't have pressed enter. Let me undo. So equal to I want us to do the grading system. Assuming these are the grades. Let's say this is a percentage. Some way total score which is over 100 in one. The let's say percentage score. We equal then. You see me by force. Assuming this is percentage score. Is my screen being showed?
Yes, Doc.
Percentage score. Your friend say where your more percentage score. Per se, you try the grading system we use, UCC grading system. I don't know of other institutions. And so, you're starting with what? Equal to if. Okay. So if there be new way na me pay. If where then D J2. So if J2 is greater than or equal to 80, that means that 80 and above. What am I saying? Colon, comma, me boa. Then comma no, there was a banache say onya A. Until we are now what the comma swaba. Until the comma bar, obesa type if me boa. For the next one, if again. Until if ubefa, if G2 ya Into over one to now, yeah, for we no na yeah drag into the same G2. G2 is greater than or equal to and look about 79 and the grading system no cry. Oh, I think I have to 80 and above is 100, 75 to 79. So it's greater than or equal to 75 rather. It's a better than B plus, comma. Then we have, he said it should be what? B plus. Then comma. Then if bill. So if bill, if G2. I believe somebody else too is doing it. Now I should say you get the same AR greater than or equal to 70 and 70, comma. Then B, comma. Then we have, I wish I can finish this. The function there, yeah, now a slow kaka because one two boy. Yeah, but you we na yet and one no. B. So if G2 G2 is greater than or equal to 80, 75, 70, 65, greater or equal to 65. Then we are saying Senipakunia saying C plus. A. C plus. So then if G2 greater than or equal to 60 comma. Then Nipakonia then D plus. Yeah, yes, sir. D plus. And see D so one sana F and sana E and university doesn't say F in chess away feeling. And so after D plus Mama ka some dem try D na enkoye nim no. Maybe I mo the account. Then see comma. Na if I wish I will not make any mistake. If G2 is greater than or equal to so D is 50 and above and 9. When we feel was it 55 and above or 50 and above rather? I think 50 and above. No, D no. Greater than or equal to 50. And you get a D. Comma. You should get what? A D. And say one no we are one kasa if below 50 I feel. A one what the common bar and kind of there. E chess when you feel and kind of E. Nti uwie a sisi ya atro function area o Into how many a I don't know bet you no. How many way na a excellent. How na bet you no. How many a brackets na the bet ho? This one we had only 3 brackets. Bracket close. Okay, into a bear county, so a B plus A B plus B C plus D D plus so sis a bear sis 1 2 3 4 5 6 what digga and no na aba no oh and to make calculate we no na yes 6 brackets and see me no say aba see assuming this way there's course say na your grading system oh into I'll just drag it. Then you realize that 75 I've put so into equal grade now. Open say this B plus and yes, I made the B plus show. The B plus came as a result of this function I put there. And if you get your function right, yeah, friend or quadrant say 81 crabenia A and B and no benya say. As soon as you put the function there, you type it correctly. If this, you press enter. The function would give you all the grades of student scores. NT Shebibio, Bebabe edit some of the percentage score here, and then you see whether the grade 2 will change. And here for padi, hey yow, on your 30. Oh, you're crying and say so failure. Oh dear, yeah, she say you bet to me a pass no na. When you're dear koni baby, because 30 per e. You ask yourself, how many scores can additional score can you give to ya? Say obenya D. And like I said, D is around what? 50 and above. So the for 52 being has say. No nyani D be. For 52 and share. Now you press enter. Say yeah has changed from getting what? E, which is fill, to what a D. O de trebiko fee why? Nya D be no cause ma E pa no wasa be raise it there. Any that be. I don't encourage that in T. Yeah, man 52 instead of 30. When you need no when you change it here, automatically here changes. Do you get it? So that is the end of for this level. And not just the end of Excel. Excel there are so many forms. You want to find the average score, you want to find the percentile, which I did in the first example by finding the total, the score over their total times the percentage times 100. Then we had the percentile. Okay. Monkaya, I was working in Excel sheet 3 or sheet 2 rather. Sheet 2. sheet 2 no, one amede percentile by taking percentile 75%. Unim say he had it from where? Way D2 divided by 60, which was the total. And 30 plus 30 is 60. And D2 over the total scores is 60. D2 is total marks of the two scores near 45. Is to over this is the score 60 times and 8%. 40%. You can as well find out their average, and you can use the if function to get their performance, whether the person had an excellent or something, and use for big person grade, which is what A, B plus B, C, D. And when we put the function there, function will make it brackets no a bit to ensure that all the functions are there. And so we say no, the reason why I'm having so
Please, as the class ended.
I think it's Madam's network. So
Oh, okay.
hello.
Hi.
Hey, since I dropped though, I dropped for a long time? Did I go offline for a long time?
Yeah, she went off, so we're thinking the class has even
no,
ended.
please.
Hey, for how long? Because you have done the grading system. Oh, were you not watching? Did it go after I have done the grading system, the A, the B plus, and those things?
Yes, it went off after the grading system.
Then that is all.
Yeah.
So I was asking if somebody also did it, or you were just watching me. If you were watching me, that is fine. I would also ask if you understood what I just demonstrated. Did you all understand what I just did? Okay, since you
Yes.
can't talk for other people, talk for yourself by giving me a thumbs up so that I'll know those who understood and those who did not understand. Okay. Give me a thumbs up if you understood the grading system. In fact, everything, especially from calculating the total, calculating their average performance, and calculating their grading system. If you understood them, give me a thumbs up. If you were lost, give me a thumbs down. If you didn't understand at all, you were confused entirely, give me this kind of emoji I'm sending. The one that looks like you are crying. That means either this or this. That means you are lost. You don't even know what is going on. But if you had it, but you were lost, or you understood it perfectly, just give me this. If you understood it perfectly, give me this. If you don't understand, give me this. But if you understood it at a point, but along the way you were lost, give me this. And let me see the number of people who were following and who were not following. Hey, Lizzie. Okay. So who else? Hey, Felicia, want to ask a cry? Okay.
Oh, I understand everything. I think it's the grading system. That's the only place I have a problem.
Okay.
Hello,
Yeah, madam,
Uh-huh.
please move in
madam.
total with the
All
question.
that you were doing, I was listening. My screen was not showing.
Your screen or my screen? My screen was not showing. Oh, I didn't show my screen. You should have informed me, because I took it one after the other and then I did it. Oh,
Doc, your screen was showing. We were seeing it. Okay, I saw your screen.
Mine was
Maybe
not show. Mine was not showing.
maybe you scrolled upwards, so the screen
Mine
will.
was not showing, but I don't know of others.
Mine showed, and I'm saying that maybe you scrolled upwards, so the screen will go off. Madam's screen will go off when you scroll upwards.
okay. So what we do is, Excel is not easy to understand it at a glance. Do you get it? So just relax, take your time, have a deep breath, and then you revisit it. If you really want to be a master of everything, it's about what? Practice. So find time to practice what you have been taught, and then you get it. Anyways, you are going for a commercial break. We will return 10 minutes to uh 10 minutes to 10 o'clock, 10 to 10. Hey, there be who the infant said 10 o'clock. Latest by 10 o'clock, we should start the second. 10 o'clock, yes, 10 o'clock, we are coming back. Okay, we are giving ourselves 10 minutes break. So 10 o'clock, we are resuming. That's 10 o'clock, just stretch, find some activity to do, and then come back. If you like to just go through what we did, and then when we come back, you'll see if we can glance through just for the last time before we move on to the PowerPoints for today's lesson. Enjoy your break.
Thank you, Doc.
Yɛn fa kwan bi from am pɔnkye ba bɛ wie buro bi saa.
Okay, let's all come on board. Hello. Hello. Call them individually to join. Are you ready?
Yes, doc. I'm ready.
Hey, 17 NSS and they're quite starting at 12. So at least Mundo 10 I started so more waste the time. Call them on for you can even flash them when they hear the phone belling, they will quickly rush to it and then they would realize that they are supposed to join. I believe you can start now. At least you are 90. But it's almost, don't want to waste time. Any question? During the break, were you able to go through or you were doing something else? Okay, so briefly, I want to go over this, then we can move on. I said these were the test scores they were given in the question. Getting the total means the summation of the first two. So when you click here, you realize that the function is what? Equal to B2 plus C2. Hey, let me sure I've unmuted myself. Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, Doc.
Good.
Yes, we
So
can hear you.
the total is what? B2 plus C2. And we dragged it down to give us the total scores of test 1 and test 2 for the five students. Then we went ahead to calculate the average. And we said the average of each score is the total scores divided by 2. So test 1, that is what? Giving us what? Test 1 is B2 plus C2. That is giving us the total score. So since we already have the total score, the average score will be the total score divided by 2. That is why the average score, when you click on it, you realize that it's giving us what? D2 over 2. And in all the functions, you said you should begin with what? An equal sign. Equal to D2 over 2 before you get it. If you click without the equal sign, it will not perform the function it was supposed to perform. And we dragged it down. And I said in dragging it, put your cursor at the tip, right edge of that had been highlighted. Put your cursor at the tip of it, the right bottom, and just click on it. When you click on it, as soon as you click, you drag. You click and drag. So when you click and you drag it, automatically the functions are being performed, and then you get the results that you are looking for. So after we had these results, we realized we got to a place that we are supposed to grade them. And in grading, you can name it performance. What is their performance? The performance standard that you have set yourself, that one, it is you, the user, sets the performance standard. If it's an examination, the examination will set the performance standard that, okay, the performance standard should be such that whoever gets for this particular one, the standard was that whoever gets 25 and above, the total scores was 30. So whoever had 25 and above over 30 is an excellent student. So that is the first standard. The second standard said whoever had 20 to 24, 20 marks to 24, you are a good student. And whoever had what? 19, sorry, 16, was it 15 to 20? Yeah, 15 to 20. That means you are a fair student. And then whoever had below 15, that means that 14 and below, you probably failed. So we realized that out of these scores, we performed the function, and then some were having excellent grades. Some, the standard was good, others were fair, and someone also managed to fail. Kojo, you ask yourself, how do we do this grading system with Excel? You still start every function with an if, with an equal sign. So that if you are performing a function whereby you are representing something, that is where you use the if. If you are only solving mathematical problems, whether addition, multiplication, subtraction, or division, that one you just start with an equal sign although, but you continue and then put all those symbols there. So equal to maybe D2 plus Z1, then that is the function you're looking for when you are summing. Equal to this divided by this divide and all that. But if you want to represent something, okay, with all the scores we have had, what is the interpretation of the scores? So the performance is much more of the interpretation of the scores. The interpretation is such that whoever had 25 marks out of 30 and above, so you can get 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, because it's over 30. The person is an excellent student. So the if function is what? Giving us a formula that you would need an interpretation. And that interpretation is saying that after you have filled the entire formula, whoever gets 25 and above, the interpretation is that he's an excellent student. So when we did this, we also dragged it and we realized this was done. Now the question is, how do we interpret the formulas? In other words, how are we create a formula to do the interpretation? Yes, that's what I mean. How do we create a formula to do the interpretation we are looking for? So you begin with an equal sign, then if. So I'm going to click on one of them. For example, good. We began with an equal sign, and then we started with what? If, bracket open. So you just take the first cell that you want to work the interpretation on, so that after you have completed the entire function, you can just press enter and drag. When you are done and you even press enter without dragging, the remaining scores will give you the interpretation. But when you highlight on one, you realize that only the first score has been given the interpretation. Then you drag it to get the remaining interpretation for the scores. So what else am I saying? I'm saying that to do the interpretation, you need to set your own standard, and the standard has been given. How do we put those standards in coding? In other words, how do we code it in a language that the spreadsheet would understand? Now the spreadsheet understands that when you start with an equal sign and an if, you actually want to create a formula with an interpretation. So you create both the formula and the interpretation in that coding thing. And this is how you go by it. For example, with the scores that I've listed, we had already had. We were using their average score to do the interpretation in this particular work. I'm using the first one. So where we had good feel and excel, then after I'll just do the word grading. It's the same thing. So the interpretation was, you start with an equal sign, and then you begin with if, bracket open. Can you all hear me?
Yes, doc.
Yes, please.
Yes, so you're on course, right? You are listening. All right. So you begin with what? An equal sign, equal to if, bracket open. Then the first cell that you want to do the interpretation on, go and look for the cell name. If you are not able to locate the column and the row to find the actual name for it, you can highlight it. And then when you highlight it, you realize that the name would even come. But since you don't want to take your cursor away from where you are starting with your interpretation with if, it is best to try and use your eye to view the particular cell that you are working on. So for example, before I had this, I knew that I was supposed to work on the average, and the average is on the E column. What number is this? Is 2. So I know it is E2. So if E2 is greater than or equal to 25, comma, that is the clause. So take it this way. You are actually writing a clause, but this one, it is more like you are coding it. So everything you are writing is much more in what? figures and alphabets mixed together. So if E2, in other words, the E2 is what? If Ahmed's average, do you get it? The E2 is represent if Ahmed's average score is greater than or equals to 25. That is the interpretation. If Ahmed's average score, that is Ahmed's average score is what? E2. So those who are afraid of figures, just get the interpretation and you realize that it is simple to do this formula. So if Ahmed's average score is greater than or equals to 25, then what is the result? That means she's an excellent student. So if Ahmed's average is E2, is greater than or equal to 25, comma, then the result being excellent, which is what you are looking for, should be put in what? Quotation marks. So when you finish with the quotation marks, since you have a lot of standards to talk about, you don't end with a full stop. You end with the comma and then come again and say that, okay, if Ahmed's average score is greater than or equal to 25, excellent, comma. If Ahmed's average score is greater than or equal to 20, then she's good. Bracket. We don't go ahead to say if Ahmed's average score is less than what? 15, then she has failed. Right after the fail, we put comma, then fail. Then you count the number of brackets you use. You realize that when you open the bracket, you have 3. If at that point in time, Ahmed's score, average score, is in any of the numbers or the ranges that you have listed, you realize that the range will give you the performance that you have already coded. Do you get it? So a language, do you get it? The E is greater than or equal to 25. What is the E2? The E2 is Ahmed's average score. And what are we saying? Ahmed's average score should be greater than or equal to 25 for her to show that she's an excellent student. And so with the same approach, no. And I can say, okay, let's take it from the classroom level. And because we started with the classroom
Doc, please, I can't hear you again. Oh.
I don't think you do A, B plus, but excuse me. Hello.
Hello.
I asked you to hold on, but it seems you didn't hear me. Hello. Hello.
Hello. Hello, Doc.
When I was asking you guys to call your other students to join, I was also calling them as well, and they didn't pick. That is how I started. Yes.
Yeah, I
Can you hear
can
me
hear you
now?
now.
Can you hear me now? Okay, so what? So what I'm saying is that is the interpretation. So when you are done, you just bring what the bracket close. You close the bracket. Don't just the network issue, yes, sir. Hello.
Hi, Doc.
I'm going on and off. So when I go off, prompt me quickly. You can call me rather. Because when you message me, I'm teaching, so I don't look at the phone. I wouldn't see it. But when you give me a call, it will prompt me that I've gone off. Okay. So I was still explaining how to get the formula. And I'm saying that I use this as a basis because at the primary school, usually we award by giving grades like excellent, very good, good, fair, and all that. Sometimes you want to add fail, which I don't think it is good to put fail there, that the student has failed. Anyways, that is subjective. It depends on the ruling system, what your people are saying. So that is it. The same interpretation is given towards your percentile at the university. This is the standard.
Hello, Doc.
Hello.
You are on.
So the same applies to what the percentage. So at the university, we use grades. The standard is whoever gets 80 cities, mobile 80 cities. It says scanning here, you see as Kasam. Whoever gets 80 and above gets what, an A. Whoever gets 75 and above gets a B plus. Whoever 75 to 79, B plus. 70 to 74, B. 65 to 69, C plus. And then 60 to 64, a C. And D plus is what? D plus need D there. Me nko wanti. Mo tanya D na D plus. Mo kan share nya. Eya amunya. Okay, so that is it. That is the grading system. So it applies here as well. What are we saying? We are saying that if so in this particular context, we will use I only put percentage scores there. I'm not saying that the percentage scores were as a result of this performance. I only put the figures there. Okay. So those who didn't join, don't ask me how did we get the percentage scores. I only put them down that assuming after combining all the assuming Ahmed's percentage score, that is in exams. These were class scores, but these were what? Percentage scores. So assuming in exams, Ahmed had a total score of what? 75 percentage. 75 with the clause that I have made. I'm saying that whoever gets, if Ahmed should get 80 and above, that means that greater than or equal to 80. That is the meaning of 80 and above. Greater than or equal to 80, then you are having an A. So if she's supposed to get 75 and above, but up to 79. So 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, you should have a B plus. If you are to get this, so I have already done the coding. And when I was done, so that was the interpretation. So if this, then this, the then is what we use comma. So if the 75 was on G2, that is Ahmed's grade, Ahmed's percentage score. So if Ahmed's percentage score is on G2, that means if G2 is greater than or equals to 80, then the then is what you use what? A comma. That is how you are interpret. If you are reading it the way I am reading it, you will not have to what? Do chew and pour in preparing what? The comments and in coding, because that's how I learned. Anything I did with mission yache, but I remember the way I studied it. Then I used it to do the formula thing. To be sure that I am not wrong, I go back and check, and I realized that whatever I did was even correct. Why? Because I always use a strategy to learn. You get it? So I don't easily miss out things. For example, send a make sure, yeah, that's how I learn. So okay, why am I putting E2 there? I'm putting E2 there because the E2 was for MS average. And we are heavy. To see a percentage score, yeah, coding. So why am I putting G2? The G2 stands for what? MS percentage score. So if MS percentage score, which is G2, is greater than or equals to 80, then what does it imply? Then it implies that she has an A. Until then, no, is comma, implies is quotation marks. Implies that she has an A is quotation marks. And to may type in one, may type in a match, okay, if G2 is greater than or equals to 80, comma, that is then. What does it imply? She has an A. Now, the A no hashtag quotation marks. Comma. Then you start another word clause. If the same AMA is getting greater than or equal to what? 75, then she has a B plus. Say an American. Say American one. I know the quote I'm using. So if AMA percentile score, so if J2, now G2 is greater than or equals to what? 75, then comma, then she has a B plus. So the B plus will be in words, quotation marks. Quotation B plus, you put the quotation mark, whatever, we are comma. Then you start with another word, preamble. Okay, if ama, and see, who reading the say, you not miss the commas, don't even attempt bringing full stop anywhere. There's no full stop. It's only commas, quotation mark, and then the brackets. You begin with the brackets. When you are ending with a bracket, count the number of brackets you have begun with and end with it. If you have opened 3 brackets and you ended with only 1 bracket, I bet you the function will not perform. So you stay at one function just to get the grades of students, just to get the interpretation of scores, and you will be fumbling all the time because you are not coding it rightly. For example, I myself, when I began this, I forgot to bring the equal sign, which I was saying all the time. My name come on. It didn't come. Why? Because I failed to bring the equal sign at the beginning. So always remember, you begin it with what whether you are just performing a function or you are trying to code to get an interpretation of all that you have done, you still have to begin with what? An equal sign. And that's all that we have done today. Okay, for the I think yeah. I never did this here.
Hi,
Hello.
Doc.
So we have ended with Excel. And one yeah, Tremono. Any question? Any question? If you have a question, raise your hand. If you so far, I think you are on course. If you understand it, if you want to grade it 80% and above, give me a thumbs up. Your understanding of it. If it's 80% and above, give me a thumbs up. If it is around 60%, give me a thumbs up. So if it's 80%, give me a thumbs up. If it is less than 8, up between 80 to 60%, give thumbs up. To 8%, give me a thumbs up. Just someone, okay. Understand yourself that came of understanding of whatever you've done today, ranging from 60 to or let's say 60 to 100%. Give me a thumbs up. For 60% and above, give me a thumbs up. That's okay. So why? Hello. So we have ended the class. Any question? We have just 5 minutes left. So we'll have a presentation software, which is the PowerPoint next week. And we would have to have it plus the Prezi. So try and get me one of the days that you'll be free so that we can do at least the PowerPoints. And then hopefully when we start the Prezi next week, Saturday, we can just use the first 2 hours to discuss the Prezi. And then the remaining 2 hours, you discuss all that we have done briefly. That is where I will address all your concerns before your final quiz and exams. Okay? What do you think? Hello?
Yes,
Did you all
madam.
hear me? Okay. If there are no other questions, then we call it a day. So discuss with your course rep. When do you want us to have our next class? Tuesday is out because I have another class with other students on Tuesdays. But the remaining days, I think I'll be available. So you just have to prior inform me so that I can prepare and meet you on the set date. Okay. So by the end of the day, we are morning. So by evening, you should let me be informed so that I know how to plan accordingly. Right? Any other question, contribution, suggestion, anything is welcomed. Okay, enjoy the rest of the day. Bye-bye.
Bye.